Hey, what is going on everyone? Constellations bringing you all a brand new Genshin Impact video, and today we're going to be doing a support build guide for Zhongli. I do believe he's more of a support character than a DPS character, which is why we're doing a support build guide. In this guide, we'll be going over just Zhongli as a character. We're also going to go over his best weapons and artifacts as a support. And yeah, if you're looking to make your Zhongli super rock hard, make sure you smash like, subscribe to the channel, and let's get right into it. So Zhongli, you know, Geo Archon, obviously Geo's his element. He is also a polearm user, and something really interesting about him is that everything he does will scale off of his HP, which is very nice. When you ascend Zhongli, you get some Geo damage bonus, increasing the damage of all your Geo related attacks, being his Pillar and his Meteor. When you ascend Zhongli to stage 1, you unlock his talent, Resonant Waves, which will just make his Jade Shield stronger. And once you get him to Ascension stage 4, you unlock Dominance of Earth. What Dominance of Earth does is allow Zhongli to scale everything he does off of his max HP. While we're on talents, let's go over his passive talent. He'll give you 15% of the materials back when you craft polearm type weapons at the blacksmith. You have his normal attack, you have his pillar / shield, and you got his meteor. If you're building support Zhongli, I do suggest upgrading your pillar, his elemental skill first, because that'll increase the Jade Shield strength, which is really all I use Zhongli for. His meteor is very helpful as well, and I love seeing the big damage that can come from this as well, since, you know, it has some pretty crazy scaling, 770%. So, and it petrifies people. I only suggest upgrading his elemental skill, then his elemental burst. You don't even need to touch the normal attacks, especially if you're using him as a support, because you are never going to use his normal attacks. Alright, I completely forgot to cover Zhongli's constellations, hence no face cam this time, but overall, the constellations are pretty solid. There's some that I'm a little eerie about, like C1 and C6, but we're gonna go over them real quick. Like I said, C1, I'm not too much of a fan, but I do see its uses. It allows you to put down another pillar, meaning some more resonance damage, but let's be serious, who really uses Zhongli for resonance damage? But another thing I really like about this is maybe you goofed up and you tapped E or your elemental skill instead of held it. Well, I believe this constellation will allow you to tap your elemental skill by accident, and then the next time you use it, you can actually hold it immediately after and then get another pillar and shield up, which is pretty pog. But overall, still a kind of lacking constellation. C2 has got to be one of my favorite constellations for Zhongli, because his meteor will now grant you a Jade Shield, which is pretty nice. C3 upgrades the talent levels of your elemental skill, meaning more shield strength and more resonance damage on your pillars. C4, I really like this one as well, since it increases the area of effect of your meteor, meaning you're just sending in a bit bigger meteor. And it also increases the petrification by 2 seconds, which is actually a lot, since at like talent level A, I'm only at 3 seconds. This almost doubles it, which is insane. Gives you a lot more CC on the field, could be useful in Spiral Abyss, which is why I really love C4, especially for those damage support Zhongli's out there. C5 increases the damage and even more petrification time of your meteor, always nice. C6, like I said, this one's a bit iffy, especially if you're trying to rock a Staff of Homa on your Zhongli, or anyone really, and you're trying to stay below a certain HP threshold, since once your Jade Shield takes enough damage, it'll start to give you some healing, which can sort of cuck you if you're trying to stay underneath an HP threshold, which is why I suggest don't go for this constellation, or just don't activate it if you ever see yourself trying to play a character that needs an HP threshold. But yeah, overall, they're pretty solid constellations. Would I go for them? Probably not. Zhongli is amazing at C0, but if you do have the constellations, just know what you're getting into. Because C1 is meh, C6 you got to be careful about, but C2 to C5, those are all pretty awesome. So, Zhongli's artifacts. The best set that I can recommend is the 4-piece Tenacity of the Millilith. Why? Because the 2-piece will increase your HP percent by 20%, meaning everything will be increased, damage, shield strength, and all that, since Zhongli scales off of HP a lot. And the 4-piece set, when an elemental skill hits an opponent, so when you create your shield essentially, the attack of all your party members is increased, and the shield strength is also increased for the first 3 seconds, and this effect will pretty much be up every time you create your shield. So Tenacity of the Millilith, very solid set, whether you only have 2-piece. 4-piece is obviously going to be the best. Another set I can recommend is maybe the 4-piece Archaic Petra. This will increase all your geo damage, giving you a huge elemental burst if you're going for more of a burst support and not so much of a shield support. And the 4-piece set effect will increase damage of characters whose element corresponds to the elemental shield that you got from the geo elemental reaction, if that makes any sense. So if you have some electro shield around you because of the geo elemental reaction, your electro damage is increased by 35% for everyone on your team. So this is kind of a damage buffing sort of set. It's not as consistent as Tenacity of the Millilith, but it's still a very solid set. And then there's Retracing Bolide. I wouldn't suggest doing the 4-piece set unless you're trying to go for a physical damage Zhongli. But the 2-piece set, very strong as it increases your shield by 35%, which is great for Zhongli. But if you're looking for another 2 pieces I would put on this, I would do either 2-piece Archaic Petra with it for that increased geo damage bonus, or even better, to make your shield stupidly fat or thick, you pair it up with a 2-piece set of the Tenacity of the Millilith, because that gives you increased HP percent and his shield scales off of his HP. As for Zhongli's weapons, the best in slot for both DPS Zhongli and support Zhongli is undoubtedly the Staff of Homa. Huge base attack, crit damage substat, flat out increases your HP percent and gives you damage buffs based off of your max HP. Overall, weapon is best in slot for him. May not match him the best, but it performs the best. Another great choice is Primordial Jadewing Spear, super highest base attack actually, gives you crit rate. The passive won't be doing anything unfortunately, but the crit rate and the high base attack make this weapon very solid for him. Vortex Vanquisher, also very good. Don't have it though, so I don't have the exact knowledge on it, but I do know it increases your shield strength, which is very important for Zhongli. Skyward Spine is also a very good choice, but there are 3 4-stars that I would choose over it. Those 4 stars being the Lithic Spear, as it has a high base attack for a 4-star, has attack percent as a substat, and increases your crit rate and attack percent for every character hailing from Leeway on your team. Very solid option. Also, the Deathmatch is very solid, as it may have a lower base attack, but it has a huge crit rate substat, and its passive actually sort of makes up for that lower base attack because it'll increase your attack percent when you're nearby enemies, which is pretty much all the time when you're trying to do damage or fighting, you know? And then there's the Blackcliff Pole, which is, it has good base attack, has crit damage as a substat. Unfortunately, its passive will rarely get into play when you're playing Zhongli as a support. As for your free-to-play options, don't make the mistake that I did and trashing your White Tassels. White Tassels are a very solid weapon. They may have a lower base attack, but they are easy to find, as you can find them in the chests in your world. Don't use them as fodder like I did. It has crit rate as a substat, and its passive just won't do anything, but that crit rate is more than enough. And if you're trying to increase his shield strength even further, Black Tassel is actually another great option, as it will increase your HP percent. The base attack is even worse than that of the White Tassel, I'm pretty sure, and the passive will increase your damage against slimes, so watch out, slimes. But yeah, those are your free-to-play options. And that's going to be it for this Zhongli guide. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, drop me a like down below, and I will catch you all in the next video. Leave suggestions in the comments below, and until next time, peace.